Good evening, everyone. I'm Romney Smith at WTOC for the News Now. This is where we bring you the stories that we're working on right now. We're on various platforms. That includes our website, WTOC.com, the WTOC apps, Amazon Fire, Roku, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook, and that's where you can interact with us live. So the biggest story we've been talking about all day is very unfortunate. A Hilton Head Island woman actually died this morning after being attacked by a gator. Now, this is the picture of 45-year-old Cassandra Klein. She's the woman who was walking her dog this morning when she got into a tug of war with a gator over her dog. Now, the dog survived, but unfortunately she did not. Her husband was out of town at the time, but is on his way back right now after receiving a phone call from authorities. The area of Sea Pines has been rattled all day long after learning that Miss Klein was killed. Witnesses were able to tell officials what happened. They went into the water and were able to retrieve Miss Klein's body. They also got the gator and killed it before taking it to Columbia, South Carolina for a necropsy, which is an animal autopsy. We asked if the gator was a nuisance coming onto land bothering people, but officials say Miss Klein was likely walking too close to the water.
It appears that the alligator grabbed the leash instead of the dog, and it was some sort of a basic tug of war with her trying to get the dog back via the leash, and in turn the alligator dragged her and the dog into the water.
CBS News also spoke with her sister. Cassandra Klein's sister, Kathy Reister, released a statement saying, "We are all heartbroken and not sure how to get through this. My sister is a very special and beautiful person." Again, that's coming from her sister, Kathy Reister, as soon as she got that information. Now, if you live in the Low Country and see an alligator that could be a nuisance, you can always call the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources. Now, licensed trappers have been permitted by the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources to remove and dispatch any alligator who may exhibit aggressiveness, illness, or an injury, or if they go into some kind of recreational swimming area. Again, we have that number on our website, WTOC.com. Also, officials said this afternoon, you should also call DNR and let them know if you see any people feeding alligators. That is also illegal in the state of South Carolina. So again, a lot of people very heartbroken. I see your comments on Facebook, a lot of prayers going out to Cassandra Klein's family. Some of you asking if she had children. She did not at this time. However, her husband was out of town. She, again, for those of you who are kind of wanting the recap of what's going on, she was walking her dog very close to the water. She was not on a path. She was way behind homes, and the gator apparently wanted to get to her dog. There was some kind of tug of war, and they were both pulled into the water. She unfortunately did not make it. Now, when people saw this, they called officials. Officials went out, they found her body, and then, of course, they went and got the gator and killed it. The gator is now being sent up to Columbia, South Carolina. She, of course, will undergo an autopsy here. The gator will go and undergo an autopsy called a necropsy because it's an animal in Columbia, South Carolina. As soon as we get the details on her official cause of death, we'll let you know. Some of you thinking, well, it's because of the gator. That's not always true. I moved here from Florida, covered a couple of these things, and sometimes it is because of the gator and puncture wounds and loss of blood. Sometimes it's because of a heart attack, just getting into it with the gator. And this thing was huge, 9 feet 2 inches long, a massive animal. Other times the victim drowned. So we're still waiting to hear her official cause of death, which we should have by this Wednesday. Again, this entire community of Sea Pines heartbroken knowing that one of their own is dead after getting into it with a gator. For everyone out there who might walk your dog, I have a very small dog. I stay away from water. Officials out there telling WTOC today, do assume that every time you see a body of water that there's a gator in it. And they don't always know how large or small they are. The one today, 9 feet 2 inches long. That is a massive, massive gator. So thank you to everyone out there sending condolences and your thoughts and your prayers. This is certainly a very sad story to start the week off with, but you know, it happened. I see one question saying, why hold on to the dog? I have a dog too. I've had my dog for 12 years. I'd probably hold on to it, but I'd probably be so scared that I might let go of the leash. But you never know. People think of their animals as family, you know, and so maybe she thought she could get the dog back for a second, but it overpowered both of them, unfortunately, dragging them both into the water. The dog did survive. Unfortunately, she did not. Miss Cassandra Klein, certainly our hearts and thoughts are with her husband at this time, making his way back to our area. All right, I do want to switch gears because we do have one other thing we would like to tell you about. Parents, teachers, coaches, really anyone who works with young people, you're encouraged to attend an opioid community forum tomorrow night. It's in Richmond Hill. The forum is from 6 to 7:30 at the Bryan County Community Education Building Media Room on Constitution Way. Speakers from the Bryan County Opioid Prevention Project, Richmond Hill Police Department, and Horizon Behavioral Health will be there to talk about what adults need to know to prevent kids from using opioids. Also, the prevalence, prevention, and treatment of young people. Keep in mind, dinner will also be served. Let's take a quick look at weather right now. I've got the WTOC Twitter account pulled up. Right now, they're saying that isolated storms will continue to track in from the west and south. The coast will remain dry, but in Onion Country, of course, McIntosh and Liberty County could have a storm within the next 2 hours. So keep in mind, you can always stay connected to us online. If you're on Twitter, follow WTOC. We're at WTOC11. If you want to take our weather account, it's at WTOC First Alert. I apologize. Our scanner is really loud right now, so sorry about that. But you can also get to that online and the weather app, by the way. You've got the news app at WTOC, and then WTOC has a separate weather app with radar. The meteorologists give videos throughout the day, and you can also get the hour-by-hour forecast. So both great resources to have. All right, let's going back to Facebook. A lot of comments tonight. David Runyon saying we lived in Hilton Head Plantation for 6 years. Nothing like that ever happened. So sorry to hear. Completely understand that. Laura Lawson saying my dogs are my children. I will kill to die or protect mine. I get it. My dog's 12 years old, and my first inclination would not be to let go of the leash and let the gator have it. I would probably pull and for half a second. And I know that to some of you guys, especially those of you who don't have pets, it might sound a little crazy to you, but for those of us who have had pets for more than a decade or even for just for a few years, they really are like family. I can't say that I'd let go of the leash. I probably would try to lunge for my dog, but just another good warning to those of you who are in that area. Again, officials saying assume that every body of water in that area has a gator, so try not to walk so close to the water. Maybe stay to the sidewalks. That might be kind of helpful there. Janet Dozier saying, hey, Romney from Duval. That's Jacksonville, where I came from. Thank you so much for watching. We certainly appreciate it. Where did this happen on Hilton Head? It happened in Sea Pines. It's a resort area, but it was happening near some of the homes. Let's see. Any other comments? Any questions? A bunch of other people just giving thoughts and prayers, saying terrible news, sad story. We thank you guys for depending on WTOC to get the very latest information. We always try to keep you updated. We had a number of reporters on this story today working to get you the most up-to-date information. Keep in mind, to stay in touch with us, you can always visit our website, WTOC.com, as well as our social media pages. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We'll have better news, hopefully, tomorrow. Have a good evening.